United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I really liked I liked the God Bless America, and I liked having the words to it. You know, just have to stumble through that last verse
Yeah.
at the meeting. That was nice.
Although I mentioned to some lady who turned out to be, she was a former principal or something. And I pointed, I said, look at this. So I went over, she said, well, I know the words. Of course, doesn't everybody know the words? I said, I think you might think they do, but I don't know about that, right? We're just trying to make it easier. Okay.
All right, you don't get a copy then.
She didn't want, she didn't take the copy. She's true to her word.
All righty, approval of the minutes from the February 27th meeting. Any questions or comments on that, changes?
Seems like a million years ago, but I think it was okay.
I had none.
Motion to approve?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of, what was the date?
February 27th.
February 27th.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. There we go. All right.
I'll start with minutes.
You need another one?
Using its thing. Cheapos.
Yeah. Freebies. Okay, housekeeping. Select board chair and liaisons, and I have the liaisons on here, just in case anybody wants to shuffle or anything, but, I know I've been serving your term as chair, but I'd be more than happy to continue, unless either of you wanna step up.
Personally, I'd be more than happy to keep you in that position, but if Bob, if you want to just, if you think we should change just for, she does such a good job, seriously does a
I do
good job.
enjoy it, so.
And you enjoy it,
Controller.
so we have to make a motion on that?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that Dr. Cameron be the chairman of the Board of Selectmen for the year, what is this, 2024?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much for your endorsements.
Don't spend all that extra money.
Yeah, I'll buy you lunch.
Yeah.
I'll invite you to lunch.
Okay.
All right, on the liaisons, there was one, Bob is on the planning board, not Frank, so I'm back on that one. Frank, I asked before, are you okay being liaison to the library?
Yeah, absolutely.
And are you okay with all your other appointments?
Yep.
And Bob, are you okay with all yours?
Yeah.
All right, they will stay, I'll give you the corrected copy here, Julie.
Yes.
And I don't know if do we have to make a motion on this to change, or I think it's just an informality. So,
I'll figure it out.
all right, town meeting results. Do we need to read these since they were already read? So all of the town of Jackson election results were previously read at the town meeting,
Right.
but at the town meeting, all warrant articles passed. Article 8, to fund the housing commission passed as amended with $15,000 instead of $50,000, and that brought the total budget to $4,005,409. That is all stated in the documentation here, and that is also, this goes to the state on a formal report. So, all right, Mascoma Bridge loan. So we have two loans. We have the bridge loan and we have the TAN, which is the kind of line of credit that we don't ever use. But we did talk about renewing the bridge loan because we didn't know when the funds were going to come in from the state, and I think it's a good move to make sure we renew that at the same interest rate. So I will make a motion to approve the bridge loan at $1,053,817.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then on the TAN, we can apply for that if needed, when and if our cash flow gets to the point where we need it. So we don't need to extend or take that out at this point. We'll just apply for it if needed. All right?
It's not going, we're talking to Karen, anybody else.
Tell me.
Cash flow has never been a problem for us.
I'm telling you, it
Yeah,
is a
that's why I'm doing
blessing.
this.
I know. We're very fortunate that our residents pay and taxpayers pay. Okay, then we have our MOU memorandum of understanding with Channel 3 for $5,000 to make sure that we can continue getting Channel 3. So this is from March forward, ending in, actually, May 1st, 24 through April 30th, 2025. Regarding cable Channel 3. If this meets with our approval, sign and return to the office. So I'll make a motion to approve the MOU with Channel 3, so we can keep watching TV.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. For a while, we couldn't get it again. And I was like, oh my God, what happened to it? We just had to restart our box, our cable box, or it was again.
Okay.
I thought if there was something was wrong, we would have gotten calls here
Yeah.
probably about it, so. All right, thank you.
You bet.
All right, so these are the signatures that we have to, the papers we have to sign for the oaths that have already been taken for all of the board appointments. So Joanne Driscoll and Stan Cobras are library alternates for 1 year. And we're not making motions because these, we do have to make
You do
motions.
have to make a motion to appoint them.
Okay.
Yes.
So I will take a motion to appoint Joanne Driscoll and Stan Cobras as library alternates for 1 year terms.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I signed it. And then while you are doing that signing, we have Alicia Hawks, Barbara Terrio, Ellie Spears, and Marilyn Rhodes, who have re-upped for their 2 year terms for the old library trustees.
I'll make that motion.
I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And sign those. There's 4 of these. Yeah, we run on back here. Okay, good. Negotiated. You go on them. There's 4 of those. And then the next one is for Dick Bennett to serve a 3 year term on the planning board. Motion to appoint Dick,
I'll make that motion.
and I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
And
Thank
I have
you, Dick,
myself
for your
earlier.
long time service.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's on the front page.
I know.
Oh, Frank signed in your name.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Well, you change the order of the thing, so it takes me a while to adjust.
From the man who had to create the gods of miracles. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding. All right, next one is the zoning board of adjustment, and Huntley Allen has asked to be appointed there for the 3 year term on the zoning board.
Okay.
I'll make a motion. We approve Huntley Allen to serve that term.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yes.
Who says the wheels of government grind slowly? See how fast things are moving along here.
These are, like I said, kind of housekeeping things. We already got the hard work done at the beginning,
Nope.
right? Okay, so that's that. Now, for the Housing Commission, we have 5 letters of interest, which is really wonderful. And Scott, you are here, and we have Scott Badger, Jonathan Laguerre, Ken Carpenter, Nico Dubois, and Jake McCambly. There are also a few people who said they may be interested in helping out a little, they don't want to go full board towards a position on the Housing Commission. But there are 3 people, and then I'm looking at you, Scott, because you've sort of been heading up this. Were you planning on 3 full-time and any alternates, or?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think 3 is a little shy.
I do.
So I'd like to fill out, I think the alternate should be filled out as much as possible, just to, you know, to have as many different resources at hand, and just to more hands to the work.
Cool. So I read the letters, and I'm not sure, did you guys read the letters at all?
Yes, I did. They said the right things.
Yep.
Your name.
So my opinion on those from reading the letters, and I'm not sure if you have different opinions.
No, I mean, I read them.
Okay, so, Scott, I think obviously you're the logical choice, number 1. I'm also thinking that, Jonathan Laguerre has a lot of experience and made great points, and he also had concerns about time. So I think maybe adding him as an alternate would be a great thing to keep him involved and not put the pressure on him. And then, so that leaves.
So it'll be the alternate?
Yes.
Right.
So Scott is, and we're gonna vote on all this, but, Ken Carpenter, Nico Dubois, and Jake McCambly. So,
Do you know these folks? Do you know Nico Dubois or Jacob Campbell? Not that matters, I just wanted to know.
so Jake is renting,
From Emily.
from Emily and, Emily and Peter Benson for the last 5 years.
Okay,
And
I read
then
that too.
Nico, and then Nico, is renting in this area as well, in Jackson. So, and then of course we all know Ken Carpenter. So, oh, go ahead, Scott.
Is Nico, is he, there's a couple that's helping Mike Mallett with construction for housing for his staff. I wonder if Nico is one of that couple.
He didn't mention it.
Yeah,
Did you
he
see
said
what
he's
he
working year-round at Wildcat.
Yeah, it's-
Um,
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, so that I don't
Black
think is,
Mountain Road.
yeah.
Okay.
And then, so the only other thing I think that would say Nico versus Jake is that Jake said he would be either in a full-time or alternate capacity, so he sort of threw that out there. So I think at least having them all involved and you can talk with them, does that sound?
Sure, I think that, you know, if whoever has a vote, if you're at the meeting and engaged, you'll have plenty of opportunity to contribute.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd be happy being an alternate.
Huh?
So I'd be happy being an alternate.
Yeah, nice try,
No.
Scott.
Plausible,
No,
not
sorry.
really.
I do not accept your offer.
You are the leader of the pack.
All right, so here's what I have. We're going to nominate, or appoint, not nominate, let's appoint Scott Badger, Kent Carpenter, Nico Dubois, and alternates Jonathan Laguerre and Jake McCambly. And then you can take it from there.
Do
And,
you have any like, emails and such?
yep, so we'll pass this on once we make a
Yep.
formal motion. But then beyond there, you'll establish your chair and notification for meetings, all that jazz, and keep us posted.
So I'll make
So-
a motion to appoint Scott Badger, Ken Carpenter, and Nico Dubois as regular members of the newly formed Housing Commission, and to appoint Jacob McCambly and Jonathan Laguerre as the 2 alternate members.
I will second that. All in favor? Aye. Perfect. And Julie will get you contact information from their letters of interest, and I'm really excited for you to get this started. We also did get an email from another interested party who had some opinions and information input, so we can pass that on to you as well. And anybody else that reaches out to the select office we'll direct them your way once you say who your main contact is, et cetera. Perfect. Just for the minutes and anyone that's gonna watch the video in the future, we still have open positions for the Conservation Commission for 2 regular member, 3-year terms. On the planning board, we have 3 alternate positions open, and on the ZBA, we have 1 regular member, 3-year term open. And also, 3 alternate members at different terms. So if anyone wants to get involved, those are great boards to be on and get involved in the town.
Does anybody have any record at their fingertips, how many times zoning board of adjustment met over the last 12 months? Have they had a lot going on that they've,
ZBA you're talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
I think they met once last year.
they met once?
Yeah,
Okay.
once, yeah.
Yeah, just as needed, they don't meet very often.
Yeah, right.
And is Frank Benish the acting president or chair?
Yeah.
President, okay.
Yeah.
All right. The next is fire warden appointments. So this is an FYI that Kevin Bennett, Peter Benson, Joseph Brooke Dodge III, Benjamin English Jr., Patrick Kelly, Joseph Stacy, and Jay Henry are appointed as fire wardens. And that was all submitted and signed off on previously. Thank you for your time and service. Okay, I don't know if we all want to sign the assessor's contract, do we? No. I just skipped that over. Okay, what we have are the regular assessing contract and the reeval contract. We talked about these a few times in previous meetings, and these are the full contracts. So Jason is going to start his revaluations, and there are, I was reading this before, $44,000, which is in our budget, has been the same. And then on the other contract, there are, this was interesting to me, 1,600 tracts in Jackson. So that's what he's gonna be up against looking at. And may he drive by quickly.
I have traps set around my property.
I will make a motion to sign the cyclical reevaluation and assessing contracts for Jason Collin with Town Associates.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Jason. We really do appreciate and respect you.
You can put up a trompe l'oeil.
I told Gary not to worry about fixing the culverts in front of my driveway. We don't need to get into that.
It was the 26th, 27th, 26th.
26. Did you ever get any cones up on your road?
We got cones.
Good. I asked at least that in the big areas so that we would go forward in there. Band-Aid.
But we were threatened with paving, so we set our vows.
Cones paving, yeah. We signed the wrong place again? No, I'm just kidding.
We both did. We were supposed to print.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason Call.
Yes. All right. We had talked about the furnace at the Historical Society and the funds So at the last meeting, we decided we would give the funds to the Historical Society, but draft a letter that says that they can have the funds, but they have to be used actually for the repair or replacement of the furnace by 12/17/2025, and all receipts and invoices must be submitted to Primex, so we make sure that we don't have to give the money back. And so this letter states that we're giving them a check, and once we sign and approve this, they will countersign it with their understanding and acceptance of these terms. So I think I'll just make a final motion that we're approving the funds to be dispersed to the Historical Society for the replacement of the furnace.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then Julie will take care of getting them to sign that.
The second line of this one, okay. Gonna confuse the old guy.
We'll do them in alphabetical order from now on. Thank you. All right, so we had a request, a while ago, we had a request to put a crosswalk in front of the town here to
Right.
walk across
I
to
don't
the
get it.
library.
Right.
And then we'd had a recent request from the Wentworth asking if we could have a crosswalk installed to go across Cottage Drive, which is by the Amster House, et cetera.
Mhm.
So we did get quotes on that, and it's about $10,000 each, and it would also include having flashing lights. So I'm not sure if you've seen them in like Conway, they have a couple where when somebody pushes the button, the lights flash, so somebody knows that they're crossing the road. And the town will be responsible for the installation, maintenance, construction, electrical bills, et cetera. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm cautious, and I want to be cautious all year about expenditures that we feel, unless we feel they're just absolutely necessary. Our voters voted for a lot this year that are going to be translated to real tax increases. And I know, I think it was Tish Weeder that mentioned when you looked at the total budget, if everything passed, it was gonna translate into a 48% increase. And the response was, yes, but, you know, every year we make those adjustments through our unexpended fund to do our best to make those tax increases level. And that's as far as that conversation went at the annual meeting, and it's all true. However, when you look at last year's town report, we were in a position where if all the warrants passed, it was going to lead to a 20% increase. So this is a more than double rate of increase that our voters stepped up to the plate and supported this year. So we are not going to be able to turn around and give our residents that same reasonable, measured level of a tax increase unless we start managing all of our funds with a just absolute fine-tooth comb. And I am pleased that I am still the liaison for the same departments that I was the liaison for last year. Because I've established relationships with those people, and when it comes to departments that have budgets, what the departments are that I'm involved with are gonna hear early and they're gonna hear often, that we need to give as much money that we can in that budget back to the town so we can control that tax increase. There's plenty we can do as a team, but not if we don't start in April. So I'm very mindful of that need, and I'm very concerned if we start voting things in that we really don't feel absolutely confident need to happen this year.
Say something about that, because this wouldn't be for this year anyway. The idea would be for next year, because we didn't really we didn't raise any money for it, and Michael O'Donnell, who's the guy who works for the state, who I work with, in fact, this is just funny what he said. He said, sorry this hasn't progressed, I've been busy doing a lot of traffic forecasting for the upcoming eclipse to help ensure the department is prepared. But anyway, we left it at just looking at that over there, Bob, behind here, going to the library, and then suddenly this Cottage Street came up. But
Yeah,
no money has been allotted, and I pretty much told him, I said, we don't have any money for this anyway.
yeah.
But we could at least get the groundwork done,
Mhm.
see where it's gonna be, and you already got an estimate of the cost, it's roughly about $10,000 for each one. I couldn't agree with you more, this is not the
Yeah.
year to do it, and it's not gonna happen. But it might have, except that he never got back, and he's been busy working on the
Yeah.
eclipse, so, you know.
One of the other things I think is important is that I know Gary has a lot of money in his budget for road repairs this year, and whether or not he can get it done with the, staffing shortages and labor shortages will be interesting, but also on that area by Wentworth, the sidewalks
the
are
cottage.
in such disrepair there, and they also don't get a lot of sun, so they take
Right.
quite a beating in the winter. So I think to try to put a crosswalk up without even having really good sidewalks there would be sort of penny wise and dollar foolish
Well-
today too. So I think we're all on the same page. Good information to know, but I think we'll have to turn the Wentworth down at this point and keep ours in our wish list for later as well.
Okay, but you guys, I think O'Donnell would like to hear from someone, so I started this up, I'll talk to him more,
Yes,
tell him where we're at again in terms of money, but maybe, as I say, getting some groundwork. But as far as the Cottage Street one, you think that should just be not even on the table for next year?
I don't think it should be on the table for next year.
Okay. All
I
right.
think definitely road repairs in town would be
Yep.
a lot better served.
I was surprised to
first.
see that one myself, but I just could be, there's a lot of sidewalk work to be done there, it's not
Yes.
that, and that's getting
Yeah.
expensive.
All right, good. Good talk. All right, short-term rentals, we have 2 new permits. The first one is Wozniak at 12 Middle Mountain Trail, map V10, lot 229, advertising 3 bedrooms, 8 guests, and that one is okay to approve. Motion,
So moved.
I will second. All in favor?
All right.
All right.
Aye. All right, there's that one. Okay, the next one is Groth, which is on 9 Pittman Hill Road, map V07, lot 56, 3-bedroom tax card, and they were advertising 3 bedrooms, so that one is okay to approve as well.
I'll make a motion, we approve the Groth property as for a short-term rental, map B7, lot 56.
I will second. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. And the next one is an updated, for Daniel Kelly at 55 Juniper Way, map V8, lot 51. They have corrected their advertisement and been in touch with Kevin, and they're working to upgrade their septic. So that one is okay
That's the
to,
little step they put in, right? Yeah.
yeah. So I will make a motion to approve 55 Juniper Way.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Single signatures. You got it. And then we had sent a notice to 52 North Hampshire Ridge. They were operating short-term rental without a permit. We have received that application, and it will go for the planning board on their April meeting. So it's nice to know that people are maybe a little late to the party, but they're adhering once we send them their notice. So we'll review that one once we get our hands on it.
Question? Do we know how long they've been operating short-term rental without a permit?
They just purchased the property in December,
Yeah.
Okay,
so not that long.
thank you.
Yes. But again, you know, good neighbors. If anyone knows that someone is operating a short-term rental without a permit, please let us know and we can take steps to make sure they do it right. Scott?
Are any of the applications coming in for short-term rentals that were operating prior to the zoning change? Is that still
With
happening?
the new zoning change that we had in the February meeting, or the one for
No,
the 30 rentals?
the one a couple years ago.
Yes, we did get some, you're talking about the 30 rental limit, you mean?
No, the ones that would be grandfathered in the residential.
Oh, we had-
Middle Mountain Trail, that one is a grandfathered one,
Okay.
yeah. That was
So,
a previous short-term rental.
so my question is, are we going, or is the select board going to sunset that at some point?
Well, that came up to a degree at the planning board meeting, and it doesn't seem like we should be grandfathering people in if they haven't applied prior to now. And that's just my opinion, having participated in that conversation with the planning board. And so I was looking for clarification though, because I was not on the select board at the time. When the whole grandfather topic was discussed and plan was implemented, was there talk of, were there any discussions around how long that grandfather clause should be in place?
There was some discussion, but there was never any, it's going to be X number of days or months or weeks or years. And it was all, it sort of occurred right during COVID.
Yeah,
So I think that there was a little bit of, giving people the opportunity because of the situation to, we weren't pushing as hard as we might have otherwise.
Yeah.
We're now, 3 years
Yeah.
down the road,
Yeah.
it seems like there's been
Right.
plenty of time.
And that's right in line with my thinking on that too. I don't know that we should be looking, how many people have applied that have come in under a 30-day limit because they weren't grandfathered, and yet they're doing the right thing by making that application a matter of public record and part of the town's short-term rental units. I don't think we should be approving anyone in under the grandfathered clause from this point forward.
Right.
And I'm happy to make a motion at some point.
is that
if
all,
that
I don't know if we
something
can
But
do
the
that, or it has to
ordinance-
be an ordinance change.
Yeah, it has to be
Yeah.
a change in the ordinance.
So anybody could come to the town, say, I was renting my property as a short-term rental prior to when that clause was introduced.
They have to,
2020.
they have to
They have
provide
to- Yes, we
documentation.
have
Like,
receipts.
for instance, the Middle Mountain Trail, that short-term rental was approved prior, they were renting prior to when the ordinance went in place in 2020. So they provided documentation, they sold their property, and then this person purchased it just recently, and he's submitted the application. Technically, it doesn't have to go back to the planning board, it just has
It's
to
an
be
ownership
approved.
change.
Yeah, but
As
that's,
long as
that's the way
there's
the ordinance is written.
But I don't think that's, whether it takes an ordinance change or not, I think you're right. I think it's time to just say now it's, we move forward with all new short-term rental conditional use permit applications. But I don't know if we have, is that a good conversation for the planning board meeting, or?
Well, I think they're kind of looking to us for some guidance on that. I could be wrong, but,
And that what you just described to it, that's almost another different case. The CUP goes with the land, so
Right.
once you get a conditional use permit, then if you sell the property, it goes with the property.
Right, the reason they're applying is more of a
But
contract.
here's a situation where they never got a conditional
Right.
use
Yeah.
permit,
right.
but they're transferring the grandfathered
Yeah,
part of it, and that seems wrong. to me.
Yeah.
yeah.
No one, I don't remember, like, I don't know when that has ever happened, but not
I
my
know.
understanding.
Well, you said that they were renting the property prior to 2020,
The original,
the original owner.
yeah,
And then they've now sold the property,
Yeah.
and the new owner wants to make use of the grandfathered status of the property
Right.
under a different owner with no conditional conditional use permit in place.
Right.
And so I.
That seems like that
shady.
should have a 30-day limit
Yeah,
Right.
to me.
because it was never registered before. They were just operating it as a short-term rental, but it was never registered
no,
with
it was registered.
It had a conditional
Oh,
use
yeah.
permit
Oh, it was
before.
registered.
Yes, it
Okay.
was. Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so it
No,
was,
the previous owner did.
Okay.
He had a
okay,
permit.
I thought it was before
Right.
the ordinance
Yeah.
of
No, no.
that. Okay, so they did have one before. And
Yes.
that I wouldn't
Yeah,
mind
that's-
then, but if it were like somebody
Right.
rents, I rented back in 2012 and didn't have one, then,
Right.
yeah, I think we're on the same page
Yeah.
in
So-
that matter.
Because I've only been around for a year, is there any way you could kind of share, or it's numbers off the top of your head maybe, but how many property owners have come through, say in the last year, wanting to utilize the grandfather clause for building, for homes that had previously not had permits,
Oh.
conditional use permits for
Right.
short-term rentals?
Well, if the house doesn't previously have a conditional use permit, then if they're in the rural residential area, they're only limited to 30 rentals. per
Right.
year.
Right, and I
Right.
don't think we've gotten any that have been,
No.
previously.
So then it's another issue.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, but I think if that does come up for any future
Mhm.
applications, we
Yeah.
could address it at that
Yeah.
time, and then if we have to change the ordinance moving forward,
Yeah.
we should do that.
So that's good,
And-
that's good to take back to the planning board.
And,
Yeah.
and do we know how many permits total?
I was just gonna ask that, because you have a spreadsheet.
Yeah,
Stan.
we have a
I
spreadsheet,
think 130,
130 maybe,
yeah,
130.
I think we had around that
Yeah.
many
Right.
in place before the original
Yeah.
ordinance. That
Yeah.
was sort of the number, 100 and something,
Right.
so.
that you kind
Yeah.
of could guess on, because there's nothing that you can
Right.
do other than.
Well, and you could look at VRBO and.
Right.
Right,
But if we kept it at that same number and in a sense reduced it some by, some of those have the 30-day restriction,
Yeah.
Right.
it seems like we
Doing our
did
job.
what we intended to do.
There's probably about 20 that have the 30-day restriction.
And 100 that don't,
Yeah.
110.
and you
Yeah.
just sent the letters out for last year's
Yes.
reporting. Have you
Yeah,
gotten any of those back?
everybody has responded. and gave-
Fantastic,
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
yeah,
that's really great.
yeah.
We'll be the only town that never gets litigated for short-term.
Knock on-
I would be,
Yeah,
I would be
yeah.
thrilled to have that,
Scott,
I would be thrilled to have that record, yeah.
kiss of death right there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You definitely just signed up to be chair of the housing commission. Perfect. All right, we got a bunch of new building permits, Kevin. Anything interesting on there?
No, I don't know, but everything's pretty straightforward
All right, a lot of remodels, huh?
there. Yeah, but a lot of them renewals,
Yeah,
so it's good.
awesome. Any public comment? Anybody else? All right, we have upcoming meetings. Really, really important, whoever's gonna watch Hank's video. April 9th, we have a select board meeting at 3:30. And then we have a Bartlett Jackson ambulance meeting at 4:30. Then we have our transfer station meeting at 5:30. Both the Bartlett and Jackson select boards will be here at our Jackson town office at 4:30 for the Bartlett Jackson ambulance meeting to start, and then the transfer station meeting starting at 5:30. So please, please be here with ideas, concepts. I would love to have something come out of that meeting about the transfer station dump store. So that is April 9th, starting at 3:30, 4:30, and 5:30. The changes on here are that because of some vacation conflicts, our next meeting after that will be May 7th at 3:30. And the meeting following that will be May 28th at 3:30. So we'll have one meeting in April, it'll be a long one, and then
Yeah.
May 7th and May 28th. I don't think we have a need for a non-public today. Anything else, guys?
I have nothing.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to shut the meeting down.
Second that.
In favor?
Aye.
Aye, great,
Thank you.
good meeting.